Dr. Srinivas.
Your voice is low. Or speak little loudly.
Okay, I think I need to come a little closer. Now, is it okay?
Sir, it's not coming clearly.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's a little better.
So can you just take an earplugs or something, earphone?
I'm just okay. Still, it is like that only, or is it better now? Should I?
Okay, Tejo, please carry on.
Okay, Dr. Srinivas already has told you about how to initiate the ventilation and how to optimize the ventilation, how to wean the ventilation. However, during the ventilation process, we do come across this acute deterioration word. What is meant by acute deterioration? It is a sudden collapse of a ventilated unit, which will be evident as desaturation, cyanosis, bradycardia, hypotension, or sometimes even cardiopulmonary arrest also can occur. It is not very uncommon to have this type of situation in many of the NICUs. Okay. What is the solution? So we have to timely do the intervention so that we can prevent the mortality and morbidity in the child. So for it, we need to have a systematic, well-rehearsed approach. Okay. It will help in identifying the cause and also helps in management of the neonate. Continuous monitoring will help in identifying the event a little early and timely management. So all of us who are ventilating the unit should have a prescribed and prefixed format of monitoring, which should include all the respiratory parameters and the ventilatory parameters and also the hemodynamic parameters and other medications, how we are doing it. Even it should also include the findings of the ABG and the X-ray whenever we are looking at the baby on the ventilator. Always set the alarms both for the ventilator and the monitors so that you will be knowing the event a little early. It will show you both the visual alarm and also audible alarm that will help you to identify the neonate which is in need. Also respect the alarm, don't mute it unnecessarily without seeing the baby. So when we are dealing with a neonate who is potentially in the acute deterioration situation, we should see these three parameters. One is the history that we have to see for which the baby was ventilated, any preceding intervention that we have done, and detailed physical examination will also help us to identify the cause and also manage. A lab support like blood gas and also chest X-ray will also help you what could be the reason why the baby is having this problem. So physical examination on an ventilated unit should include how many spontaneous, because this is unique compared to the baby who is not on ventilator. You should see how many babies, how many breaths the baby is taking spontaneously and how many are ventilator assisted. And you should also look at audible air leak if it is there to pick up the event related to endotracheal tube. And also you should see how many are unsupported when breaths the baby is taking. Is there any asynchrony between the baby and ventilator, which is already told by Dr. Srinivas what is the asynchrony and how we can overcome the asynchrony. So to look at all these things, you should be able to do proper observation and auscultate the child and look at the monitor of the ventilator and monitor both. Okay. So in the observation, I think these are the parameters that we need to look at, that is common vital parameters and activity of the baby and patient ventilator synchrony, you can look at it. And then by auscultation, you should look at the adequacy of the air entry and also look for the asymmetry of the air entry if at all it is there, and look for the audible airway sounds if at all there, which will give you whether it is a leak or obstruction or any secretions which are there in the circuit that will be easily detected by the neonate during the examination. Okay. You should look at the monitor. In the monitor, as sir has already told you, for detecting the acute deterioration, two things that you have to look at it. First, you should see what are the settings that you have fixed it, whether they are getting reflected on the measured values which are shown in the ventilator. Also, little graphics observation will help you how the baby is behaving. So in the monitor, the ventilator monitor, you can look at the exhale tidal volume. That means that what is a fixed tidal volume, and you can compare it with the exhale tidal volume. Also, you can look at how much is the mechanical inflation that is giving, translating into tidal volume, and also spontaneous breath, how it is getting translated into tidal volume by the baby, and what is the working PAP and percentage of the leak, and any excessive inspiratory hold is there, and is there any problem with the triggering like auto triggering, that can help you in a little. Okay. So always the event, you should not pick it up at the acute deterioration level. You should try to pick it up when the child is started to have going into worsening situation. It might be getting reflected in terms of tachypnea or some increase in the heart rate, but as tachycardia, baby might be fighting or irritable. So these are the preceding events which will help you to prevent the baby going into acute deterioration. So normally we can classify the causes into three categories. One is the causes could be due to interface, that is endotracheal tube, or by baby itself. Baby might be having some problem, we will go into details later, or sometimes it is due to equipment failure. So these are the three culprits. So first culprit is your machine ventilator malfunction, or your gas pipelines might have been a problem. Any issue? Should I stop it? Hello?
No, Tejo, carry on, carry on.
What your okay. So first is the ventilator malfunction can occur, or if there is any disconnection in the gas pipelines or oxygen cylinders, if you are using, whether there is any problem in the oxygen cylinders output, that could be the problem. Another one is the endotracheal tube problem, that is self-extubation or blocked tube, or sometimes a partial tube block also can be there. Sometimes the problem could be with the baby only. So that means that there could have been Ehrlich syndromes, either like a PIE or a pneumothorax, or sometimes lung condition for which you have started might have been worsened, or some problem related to hemodynamics could be there, or sepsis or other things also could be there in the baby. So in mnemonic, most of us will use it when we encounter a baby with the acute deterioration, that is DOPE SIP. So DOPE relates to displaced tube, obstructed tube, pneumothorax, equipment failure. SIP is related to mainly the baby's other hemodynamics and other related disorders, that is sepsis, shock due to any other reason. Sometimes intravesicular hemorrhage also can cause acute deterioration, or a PDA also can be there. So ET displacement or obstruction is one of the commonest problem which will lead to acute deterioration. There might be tapes coming off, tube pulled off, or just by changing the neck position, because the baby's trachea is very smaller in the length. So that's the reason why even a little change in the position also, tube might have been displaced. So, and also you can see that we will be using 2.53 and 3.5 size tubes, which are very smaller in diameter. So that can lead to easily obstruction with the even small amount of secretions that could be there. Okay. As already told by, so I'm not going into details, the smaller the radius, the more the resistance can be there, and baby can start fighting because of the resistance and can go into acute deterioration. So problems in the baby, commonly what we will see is that worsening in the condition, or a pneumothorax, or something like BPD can occur, or a pulmonary hemorrhage might have happened, or a new disease like sepsis might have started in the baby. That's the reason why baby might be going into shock, or there could be an apnea which might be coming if you are in a spontaneous mode of ventilation, that will lead to acute deterioration, or a new onset disease like PDA, IVH also can lead to problems. Normal equipment problems are, these are the things I think we have already covered previously. I'm going into approach now. So in the approach, these are the three things. First, you have to look at how stable is the baby, how rapidly the events have happened, how much time we have right now to do the things perfectly. So ensure that two people are there with you when the baby is going into gone into acute deterioration, keep equipment ready bedside and check that they are working properly, and a systematic approach algorithm that I will be telling later, which will help you in timely management of the baby. So this is how we have to be keeping it everything ready when the baby is on ventilator. So an ambu bag should be there with all the babies who are there, who are ventilated, and suction machine should be properly working, and related equipment like suction catheters and oxygen ports, all these things should be ready before any baby who is on the ventilator. So we will go into stepwise algorithmic approach. So first, before that, whenever you see a baby who is in acute deterioration, first disconnect the baby from the ventilator. Then connect the baby's ET to ambu bag. Start doing the giving the positive breaths to the baby. So also ensure that you are connecting your ambu bag to oxygen supply, and keep a reservoir so that almost 100% oxygen will be available for the baby. So start bagging at the ventilator rate and use pressure just adequate for the chest movement. So this is a basic approach that we will do, and based on this action, how the baby is responding, then we will be classifying them into different ramifications, and each ramification will help us to improve the baby's outcome. So first, two things that you have to look at is that adequate chest movement is there or not, and then on the auscultation you have to look for the air entry. After that, you have to look at the saturation in the pulse oximeter, based on which you can classify them. So if the baby is having no chest movement and poor breath sounds and poor saturation, the possibilities could be these things. So if the baby is having poor air entry on the chest auscultation, then tube might have been blocked. If there is an unequal sounds, then it could be pneumothorax or pleural effusion. If the breath sounds over the stomach, then it could be tube might have been dislodged. If the wheeze is there, then the baby might be having a bronchospasm. So then other problems is that poor breath sounds, poor saturations are there, then and there is no air entry into the baby, then change the endotracheal tube. Also check for the pneumothorax and the bilateral side. Other scenario could be you might be having adequate chest movements and normal breath sounds and improving with the bagging. So then if it is with the same pressure, then there could be problem with the oxygen supply or with the ventilator. If the baby is requiring more pressure, that means that baby might be having a worsening of the lung disease, or sometimes it could be due to some small or partial minimal tube block could be there. Other scenarios could be even chest movement is good, but the saturation is not improving. Then if the baby is having tachycardia and wide pulse pressure, then it could have been because of the patent ductus arteriosus. Suppose if the baby is having lethargy, then it could have been due to sepsis. If the baby is fluctuating a lot, it could be due to PPHN, which is the classical feature of the PPHN. If there is a sudden pallor, then it could be due to an intraventricular hemorrhage or bleeding from anywhere in the body. Okay. If nothing is available, then you have to look for other causes and then do accordingly. So faulty ventilator could be due to user error or a sensor failure or mechanical factors, that is obstruction in the hose pipe or power supply failure could be there. If everything is okay, then try to comfort the baby and think of analgesia and sedation, because it might be due to some pain or asynchrony because of the spontaneously breathing baby. Try to capture the baby's breath by increasing the ventilator rate. Suppose you have the baby is breathing at 55, you are keeping the rate at 30, then there could be lot of asynchrony which can happen. So just by increasing the rate, sometimes the events can decrease. So hierarchy of causes are routinely in many of the NICUs will be like this. Many of the times it is tube related, second could be machine related, and third will be pneumothorax. Other will be subsequent causes. Let's see, because we don't have much time, I'm not going into details of the graphics, but how they will help, I will show you. This is the classical graphic that you will be seeing in the scalar graphics. That is, flow time curve, and then pressure time curve, and the volume time graphic which will be there. Okay. So when you have a baby previously like that, and now the graphic is showing you like this, here you can see that in the flow time curve, the flow is decreased and the volume is also decreased. So it could be due to either a completely blocked AT2 or a poor lung compliance or a collapse of the lung, which could have happened. Other things, when you are seeing here, flow is not going, pressure is not getting generated, and the volume is also not getting generated. So there could have been problem with the equipment, or completely leak in the circuit could have been there. Okay. So here you can see in the flow time curve, everything is on the positive side only. So that could be due to either disconnection of the ET2, or there could have been a spontaneous extubation of this thing. I have just shown you some of the scenarios. I'll just go through because I have the 5 minutes. I will finish up the case scenarios also. You can look at one of the case scenario which could be there is that a baby who is intubated and put on the ventilator for the respiratory distress syndrome and having given surfactant previously, now on day 3 had desaturation hypotension. So when you are bagging, chest rise is good, noted, chest rise is just noted, and air entry is equal, but requires a little high pressure to have a good adequate movement, and baby is good with a higher FiO2, that is almost 100% oxygen, baby is on 95% saturation. And this baby's X-ray is like this. So it is, and this baby is 25 weeks, so possibilities could be here. You can see bilateral lung disease here, bilateral whiteout. So most probable cause could have been pulmonary hemorrhage here, or sometimes a late onset ventilator associated pneumonia also can present like this, but most probably it could have been due to pulmonary hemorrhage. Second case scenario here, you are having a chronic baby who is on ventilator, a 45-year-old, and BPD baby. Suddenly the baby started having increased oxygen requirement, poor chest rise when you are doing the positive pressure ventilation. So on auscultation, you can able to see that lot of added sounds are there, like crepitations. So possibilities here is that you can see some patchy opacities. Here it could be either a ventilator associated pneumonia, or sometimes pulmonary edema could have been there, or a worsening BPD could have been there in this case scenario. So accordingly, you need to do the baby. So you need to increase the PAP if it is this is a scenario, and PEEP also you have to optimize based on, as Dr. Srinivas has already told you. Other baby, 14-day-old, 28 weeks gestation, babies on ventilator, has prolonged CFT and lethargy. DOPE rules out that there is no problem. Displacement, obstruction, and equipment failure is not there. So this is the baby is looking at. You can see abdomen is very distended. Almost some of the features are consistent with the necrotizing enterocolitis. So it could be either due to necrotizing enterocolitis, or even a sepsis could have been there in the baby. That's the reason why abdominal distension might have happened in this baby. Other scenario you can see here is a preterm baby who is on ventilator. On day 4, started having desaturations and acidosis. And then initial evaluation shows that there is a decreased air entry on the right side. You can see here in the chest, right side of the chest is completely white out, and there is no, even the costophrenic angle is also obliterated, and there is a catheter here which is malposition. So most probable cause could be pleural effusion. Even it could be small. Many of the times it is a iatrogenic chylothorax in a malposition catheter. Other things could be, this is a baby who required surfactant in the initial part. On day 3 started having the saturation. These were the settings in this baby, 18/6 and rate of 45 and 40% FiO2. The evaluation shows that there is a mild decrease in air entry on both the sides. Here is the X-ray, you can see that chest is very overinflated, and you can see some small cystic changes which are started to happen. So this could be due to pulmonary interstitial emphysema. So one of the air leak syndromes which can happen. So this means if you have gone into PIE, that means that you have over-ventilated this baby. So always try to extubate the baby as early as possible. You should start planning the extubation the moment you have ventilated the baby. So every effort has to be taken at every visit to the baby, that you have to extubate the baby by doing a proper weaning of the baby. Okay. So preventive steps to prevent any acute deterioration is that proper care of the interface, fixation and suctioning, and the care of the ET tube, and regular monitoring of the baby, and train your nurses and physicians properly so that there will not be any problem. And always look at the equipment and ask your biomedical engineer or by yourself every day you check that the ventilator is working properly, and also calibrate the sensors properly so that you will not be having any issues. So plan the extubation based on the baby requirement, not based on your duty, whether you are in the night duty, you want to extubate next day morning. Don't do like that. Try to extubate the baby as early as possible when the baby doesn't require ventilation, and try to use more of the non-invasive ventilation techniques to prevent the babies who are under invasive ventilation. So my take-home messages for you are that an algorithmic approach that I have shown you will permit you a quick diagnosis and timely management. Common problems are tube-related and mechanical problems, and pneumothorax are the most commonly encountered problems in ICUs. And non-pulmonary events like sepsis, PDA, IVH, like NEC also can cause acute deterioration in the baby. So you should look at those things also when the baby is on the ventilator. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Any questions? I will be able to see it.
Thank you, Tejo, for giving such a lucid and very algorithmic approach for the management of a newborn with acute deterioration. So I think the option of chat is not very clear here. I'm not very sure. We are not getting questions. Hopefully by the end of the session, we might start getting questions.
Actually,
So
it is
let's-
8 by 10 seconds on the live stream, sir. So that's the reason why maybe we'll get the questions a little
Yeah,
later.
but even for the last class, we didn't, we are right to get the questions. So let's hope we get some questions by the time we finish off. And
So there is one question that I posted in the chat box.
I've
By
already
Dr.
answered that. I've
Oh.
already answered that, yeah.
Okay. Sir.
So let's move to the next lecture. Yeah, Zion, you want to comment?
Sir, one question, sir. Last time only I wanted to ask you regarding weaning of ventilator, sir. You're saying how the steps of how to wean the ventilator. So previously they used to use a lot of this tracheal CPAP. So they wean it from the first to put on tracheal CPAP. Now what is now the use of lot of nasal CPAP, right, sir? Sir, and sometimes sometimes they put on the TP. So many things confusion is there. So like, can you just highlight on that, sir? Can you just
So
give a
there
light
is
on that?
there is no role of any ET CPAP.
Yeah, that's right.
CPAP is only through the nasal prongs.
Nasal CPAP, yes.
So please never use ET CPAP.
That's
It
what-
should be
that's
only
what-
through the prongs. Yeah.
The prongs, that's what. And because sometimes they use, especially in adults like that, that TPs. So that is also not advisable.